are going to ask our panelists, we're going to let you sit down. I'm going to ask them a few questions and I'm going to let them speak. They'll be really talking to you about what's going on, not only within their companies, but within the industries. They'll potentially be talking about career pathways within their organization, which is very important to you. And then I'm going to leave a few minutes at the end because I do want to open up the floor for you to be able to ask some specific questions, okay? So, panelists, our first question is, what is the range of job classifications that you are frequently looking to fill, and what are the general skill sets that are needed?
There we go. Good? All right, the anticipation. Hopefully that was a good thing. Yeah, hey everyone, Andrew Kohler. Thanks a ton for having me. So I guess from an Intralock standpoint, I'll break it down in two classifications or categories. One is sort of on the commercial end. That's looking at your traditional customer service roles, your account manager roles that are doing the traveling to our customers, marketing, and then digital solutions. And then on the manufacturing end, we have some of the quality assurance technicians, some of the maintenance technicians, and also some of the field installation technicians. So servicing the machines that make the parts, and I might go on a little bit after what Intralox does, and then also the machines that our customers actually have. So if okay, I could dive in just, yeah, so a quick elevator pitch of like what is Intralox, because I don't think a lot of people know about it. So Intralox is headquartered not too far away in Harahan, Louisiana. That's our global headquarters. We have offices, regional headquarters in Amsterdam, Shanghai, and Melbourne, and then presences in Sao Paulo, Bangalore, India, a couple other locations. So the takeaway, global company, headquartered right here in New Orleans, which I think is quite exciting. And we are responsible for all the conveyance solutions around the world. And so what I mean by that is, think of your Amazon packages that I get too many of, have been on an Intralox conveyor belt. Think of all of the Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets that you eat have been on an Intralox conveyor belt. Goodyear tires, ball cans, and so on. So we have quite a diverse customer set, both in terms of industry as well as regionality. And so all the positions that I described are there to service those customers, whether that is abroad or right here in manufacturing at home. A little long-winded, but hopefully that gives
No,
sense.
that's exciting. And to know that we have an international company that's housed right here in our region speaks volumes.
Yep. Thank you.
Mindy?
Yeah, hi everybody. So I'm Mindy Nunez Earhart. I'm the president and CEO of SSE Steel Fabrication. So we are a structural steel fabrication company. And what that means is that we're sort of a hybrid of a commercial contractor and a manufacturer. So when you look at the skyline of New Orleans and you see all of these beautiful buildings, these condo developments, you see schools, you see parks, every one of these buildings and items has been touched by structural steel. So we really manufacture and construct in quite a few industries. Some of the jobs that we are constantly looking for are welders. Obviously, we deal in steel, so welders are really the backbone of what we're doing. We look for fitters. A fitter is similar to a welder, but actually needs quite a bit more technical ability. The ability to read a tape measure, the ability to read blueprints, and those are much harder to find. We also hire forklift drivers, heavy equipment operators. I employ quite a few helpers and people that are just generally supporting, our welding activities. In my office, I have to have obviously an accounting department, and that consists of a CFO and a controller. I have a human resources manager. And then I have about 5 project managers. And those project managers are basically, they are organizing and making sure that all of the projects in which we are a part of, that it's going according to the steps and the scope that we're responsible for. So we do have one office right here in St. Bernard, Louisiana. We're very proud to employ a good bit of St. Bernard residents, and we're always looking for good people.
And Mindy, can you take a minute or two and tell us about the large contract that you just received?
So we're talking about the robots?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So not quite a contract, but we're getting
Almost.
there. It's right now we've just signed a partnership. It's a memorandum of understanding with the state of Louisiana, G&O Inc., and the third partner is a company out of Texas called Persona AI. Persona AI is developing the world's first industrial humanoid robot. These robots will do the dark, dirty, dangerous, dull jobs that humans honestly don't want to do anymore. Persona AI is going to use our facility as their test bed. They're going to be mining our facility for data. That this data will train the model. The model is actually, the humanoid robot that is going to weld right next to our human welders in our facility in St. Bernard Parish. We are super excited about this. In exchange for giving them the opportunity to test in our facility and gather our data, we are going to, in exchange, we're going to get some of the first humanoid robots that they produce. We don't anticipate that this will take jobs. We really anticipate that just jobs are going to change, and we're kind of hoping that the guys that work in our facility, they're going to be one of the first. They're going to be on that first wave of men and women who used to work with their hands, and now they're managing an automated piece of equipment or a robot that's actually doing the work for them. So when you would have had some repetitive tasks that human was doing. Maybe, this is not fun to do 8 hours a day. If you've welded before, you know that. But if you have a humanoid robot that's doing it for you, that saves a lot of years off of your hands, a lot of arthritis off of your hands. So we're trying to figure out what this looks like. It's very early in the process, and we don't have the robots yet. But by late summer, I do anticipate that we'll have them on our shop floor.
Extremely exciting.
Yeah,
Extremely. That is happening right here in our backyard.
that's right, St. Bernard.
And now, Charles, tell us what's going on
How
at
do you go behind that? That's
Textron.
some awesome stuff.
You guys have some
Yeah, I mean,
potentially
but
good
that's
stuff coming down the pipe.
that's setting the area up for success. That's the future wave.
Absolutely.
Charles Phillips, Director of Manufacturing for Textron, where right now in our large demand jobs we're looking for is kind of a perfect segue into what we're looking for: welders, ship fitters for tradesmen, electricians, outfitters, machinists, as it even pertains to quality inspectors with NDT certifications. That's one tier. That's in high demand right now. But we also have more so the technical side, where we're looking for engineers, mechanical engineers, automation engineers, folks that are focused on, say, production planning and logistics. And then it's the next tier up, which is the leadership tier in manufacturing right now, where we always have production supervisors over support trades like quality engineering supervisors, manufacturing engineering supervisors. We have some of those roles that are open up right now, where if one wants to go online, textronsystems.com, you'll be able to see all the jobs that we currently have. But not just that, locally, we're right here in New Orleans. We're part of Textron Systems, which is the defense side of Textron, but we are a $16.6 billion company, where locally in New Orleans and in Slidell, we are part of a smaller portion of that. We make up about 11% of that, where if you're looking into not only having something that you can say you can grow in, but you're able to contribute to national defense, is what we're doing. We have a saying around the floor where we say, we don't make Lay's potato chips here. What we're building is allowing us to sleep better at night. And so that's right here in the New Orleans area off in Chef Mantua by Irish Bayou,
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but everything that they all talked about makes me extremely excited for our region, our greater New Orleans region. So our next question, which most of you have answered, is what are your principal products and clients today, and how has that evolved over the last several years?
Yeah, I'll echo what I said earlier as far as the products that we make. a bit of a step back. Intralocks was founded in the 1970s through the invention of a modular plastic belt. So for those in the conveyance industry prior to that, they had to use steel mesh belts to do conveyance, or those kind of like black ones that you see at the grocery store. The issue with those is they're not hygienic. So as raw meat or raw seafood is on them, they're very difficult to clean. As you need to change them, they're very difficult to change. You need to take the entire thing off, put it on, and then lastly, those that are familiar with salt water, they will corrode metal. And so as a result of that, it was a very difficult job. It was very unsanitary at times. And so the modular plastic conveyor belt was created by our founder, J.M. LePere. And so with that came the revolution in the conveyance industry globally. And so the modular plastic belt is one of our core products. It's like a little Lego piece. It's fascinating. Go to intralocks.com. You'll be able to see all of it. It's like a little Lego piece. And so there's little rods that connect them together. And if you need to change it, instead of taking the whole belt off, you pop the rod out, take out the little Lego piece, let's call it, modular plastic belt, and then put a new one or new section in. It's quite easy. It's quite hygienic, very easy to clean. And then
Probably a lot less downtime, I would anticipate, on the line as well.
Spot on, right? Yeah. So downtime is a 4-letter word for our customers, as you can imagine, who operate 24 hours a day, 365 a year. And so if you think about downtime at one of our customer facilities like United States Postal Service during Christmas, it's not a good thing. So the reduction in downtime is a big deal. I also will flip to the kind of evolution of our products, where it's the pieces of equipment. So if you ever see the packages that need to be sorted, right, they're dumped on like one big thing and they need to be sorted to various zip codes around the country, or just make it easier to line it up to then put labels on it, things like that. We also manufacture belts that facilitate the single sortation or the diversion of those packages or cans, what have you. So it's quite a wide product line in the sense there's a lot of variance off of that. There's inclines that go up, so you got to have some friction on top so those little bottles don't fall back. There's little rollers in it to facilitate the sortation and so on. So, when you think of conveyance, you think, yeah, I put my, thing on the grocery cart. Yeah, it goes right through. It can be quite complex, which makes for quite an exciting company to work for.
Love it.
Yeah.
How many patents does Mr. LePere have?
Yeah, so J.M. LePere is no longer with us. He did hold the record for most patents in the state of Louisiana, and that sort of inventive culture has continued at Intralocks. So Intralocks currently holds the most patents in the state of Louisiana. I do not have an exact number for you, but it's quite high.
Awesome. What was the question again, Suzanne? I'm sorry.
What are your principal products and clients today?
Okay.
And how has that evolved?
Okay. So we are what's called a job shop, which means that we do not manufacture the same widget 100 times. We actually manufacture custom parts built to the customer specifications. So when they come to me and they need a bridge built, or they need a handrail built, those are all built differently, and they're built differently, with different parts every time. So, our company really makes different things depending on what our customers ask us to make and what projects we win, because most of our work is low bid against other steel fabricators. So everything's kind of different every day, which really makes for an exciting atmosphere. You're not making the same thing every day. You're not building the same thing every day. You're actually in a different configuration. You might be facing, a different way. You might be working with a different person, working on a different piece every day. Our work has changed over the years in that we are doing a lot more of, I would say, less commercial work and more industrial work. We are building a lot for an electric car manufacturer in Austin, Texas, that I cannot name, but that the guy who runs that place is building basically a small city that is manufacturing his electric cars. He's been our #1 customer for the past couple of years. So it just really depends on what the market is. We're working on some data center projects, some LNG projects, but luckily steel is used in a diverse array of industries, and so that makes sometimes the job easier.
Charles.
And that same individual in Texas also needs to be able to convey heavy batteries and cars, and he also has conveyance solutions that we work with.
Love it. Yes. The principal products and clients that you have today, which we know yours could most likely be Department of Defense, I would assume.
Correct. Principal products right now, we're more so servicing our customers, the Navy and the U.S. Marines, right? With our land and our sea division, where currently we're working on an SSC hovercraft. Some of you may have seen it out in Lake Pontchartrain. What we've had to do over the years is we need to notify the fire department before we go out and test it, because when individuals will be driving towards Slidell or Mandeville, they would say it looks like a huge fire is taking place on the water, just due to the complexity of the product that we're working on and how mass it is, with how it pushed forth with propulsion and allows the water to come up. It looks like a big, huge fire, but it's actually water vapor, right? With that, though, that has evolved over the years, right? We built these back in the 80s, LCACs, where they were built back in the 80s for the Navy, and we've done a facelift. It looks like the same product on the outside, but it's only 2% similarities, where right now in the new product that we're working on is built more for survivability and also for rapid deployment, as well as making sure that we can have things in place for longevity. We're also working on some things, I would say, in the land division for the Marines right now, where we're looking into autonomous vehicles, not having to put our young Marines out there actually, in harm's way per se, where we can control from, say, an environment like this. As long as we have Wi-Fi and we have access to the internet, we'll be able to control the vehicles to ensure that we can protect our shores, where at the end of the day, this part of Textron that we're a part of, that 11%, as I said, is a small portion, but we build everything from private jets to golf carts. In our industrial base, we're working on helicopters in our division, Bell and Amarillo. We built V-22s. When you see the president get on that helicopter and fly off, that was built by Textron. So, we're multi industry, where we have diversity in all things. And we even have apparel. We make clothes, Textron gear. If you're interested, you can go to Textron.com and you can get you some Textron gear. I'm actually rocking some today. This just isn't a company shirt. This is some of our gear, So we're all over. We're in everything. We fuel tanks. Probably in the vehicles that you have right now, your fuel tank was made by Caltex, which is a part of Textron. So we're in everything, but at the end of the day, it's all about adding value to other individuals, right? If you can think of it and it would add value to another individual, increase the livelihood of that individual, increase the protection, being able to be more efficient as a human being, some way or another, Textron, we're involved in it.
Did not know a lot of that. How many of you actually knew that we had all of this going on within our greater New Orleans region? Right? So these events that we're hosting are extremely important, because we need you to know, so that then you can turn around and make sure that you have the skill sets, because the jobs are here, right? The high demand, high wage jobs are here in our backyard. So I'm gonna ask one last question and then I'm gonna open it up. From your point of view, what is the ideal way for local higher education institutions to be supportive of your talent pipeline needs?
I'll take point on this one. Currently, right now in our industry, what we're seeing is a big gap, and it's taking place across all America for skilled tradesmen, right? We're looking for welders, ship fitters, outfitters, welders that can weld steel and weld aluminum. And one of the things about this is you have to put this in the hands and more so in the mind of the individual. To me, what we're seeing right now is right in high school. One of the things is getting back into the high schools, into the local tech schools, where we're willing to work with them to develop the curriculum that will be needed to be tailored to the type of products that we're working on, where, I'm sorry, your name? As Mindy was alluding to about, AI, where robotics, it's not going to replace the tradesman. It's just going to replace how the tradesman is going to add value on a day-to-day basis. You have to know what the end product needs to look like to program the humanoid to know how to do that. And as the product itself has, versatility in it, where you have to be able to have someone there, hands-on to understand how to get that end result. And what we need, I will say, across the nation right now is for tradesmen, not only for our industry, but also just for defense as a whole. The Navy's looking to, between now and 2035, build at least $9.5 billion worth of products that's out there, from submarines to ships, to ensuring that we can maintain our freedom and democracy that we have on our shores. As you see what's going on out there in the industry right now in the world, the instability. We need folks that can work on repairing vessels, as well as building the new configs that we need for survivability, and also to stay competitive that's out there. So got to get back into the high schools, building curriculum tailored to trades. I know at one time there was a big push, a big move to pull away from that, where we pull shop out of high school and we're focused solely on the computer side of things. Well, we see now we have a big skills gap, because that group that had that skill, worked to provide for their families over the years, they're retiring. And so literally right now we have about a 15 to 20 year skills gap, and we're working hard each and every day. We have folks on the other side of this wall making sure that we can plug in to get into those high schools, get into those trade schools, but more so get the word out there that these jobs exist in the locations that they're located in.
I totally agree. There are hundreds of thousands of men and women that are retiring in the next 10 years, and we don't have the students and the young people to fill those jobs. That's one way that humanoids and other automated equipment is going to figure into this equation, but it doesn't mean that we don't need skilled tradespeople. I mean, we're still going to need tradespeople, and they're just they're what they need to learn is just going to be a little more tech forward, a little more innovative, and obviously we're going to need that curriculum to match up at the community college level and at the trade school level. Nunez Community College, we work hand in hand with them. We have an internship program to where we'll actually take some of their better students that are coming out of the welding program. We'll take them as an intern into our shop. They can kind of see what it's like, the day-to-day, what it's like being in a fabrication shop. If they do well, after 6 weeks, we will hire them on full-time. Nunez Community College does a really great job at continuously asking us and other industry partners, what skills do you need? What skills are you not seeing? We've talked about tape measuring, reading skills. Definitely that needs to improve. And then we've talked about just some soft skills that need to improve. How to dress when you're showing up, even to just ask for an application. How to act when you are in an interview. Things like that. There's definitely a gap there, because we're asking for them to teach this in your curriculum, because the guys that are coming to me in socks and slides asking for a job, like, no, honey, somebody didn't tell you at some point that this was inappropriate and that you needed to dress better to go ask for a job. But we're working on it.
Yeah, and so +1 on everything my colleague said up here. Latrim has partnered with Nunez and NTTC and other local institutions to develop the curriculum specific for the needs at Latrim and Intralocks. And just a quick also add on the soft skills point. Yes, we are in a revolutionary time when it comes to digitization, automation, AI, and the individuals, no matter the role, still needs the critical thinking skills to think for themselves. you cannot take what you see out of AI or whatever it be for gospel. You need to be able to build upon it. And it is a very powerful tool, but you need to have that critical thinking skills to build upon it, have the reasoning, the curious mindset on how you could then continue to advance it. So anyway, just a little bit to add there.
Love it. So before we go into questions, I'd like you to give our panelists a round of applause. They have shared a lot of good nuggets about what is going on within our region, what is coming down the pipe, and the skill sets that you need in order to be able to apply for their company. So I want to now open up the floor. Does anyone have any questions? And if you do, please stand up, and then we'll make sure that we can either get you the microphone. No questions? Yes, sir. Yes.
Prior military, so kind of resonated well with Spectrum. I actually worked on the F-15, F-16 down in Belgium. So I am directly affected by that, defense line situation. So I just wanted to ask, as a person who is trying to acquire their A&P license, is that something you guys work with, or is that a different avenue?
Yes, we have a testing division. Like once we assemble the product and have it in place, right, we need to make sure that it's going to function and flow as intended. And so we have a group of same certifications that you have, as well as those that came out the Navy with flight certifications, the pilot.
Yes.
It's a hovercraft, right? We say it's a hovercraft. It's not a helicopter, nor is it a ship. It's a mixture. It's like It's a plane. What is it, right? It's a hovercraft. So definitely we're looking to hire that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, I want to personally thank each of you for joining us on today. Again, your knowledge is invaluable, and sharing these bit of nuggets. Also, we are recording these sessions. The sessions will be shared with our high school students. They're going to be shared with our community colleges, with our four-year degree colleges, so that they can also utilize this information across their genre in learning. And I think, did you have
I just want to share something to the audience, right? You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. I started at Textron on the floor as a ship fitter, where in 2015, I came on the floor as a ship fitter, as an associate ship fitter. That was the lowest position that we offered at the time for our manufacturing division. Now I'm the director of manufacturing, where you come in, you learn what you need to learn, and you think differently. There's nothing or no one that can hold you back from doing all that you were sent here on planet Earth to do. So I just wanted to encourage someone today. You might see some things that you may feel like, oh, that's a step down from where you are, because at the time I was degreed, but I needed to provide for my family, right? And you go into it and you give it your best. There's no limits of where you can be and what you can do. I just wanted to say that.
Absolutely. Thank you all.